Hi there, once again, Engineering 1210. Andy back again, yet again, with another video for you to help you through learning how to use SOLIDWORKS and learning how to design things with CAD. Just to remind you that all of the things that you're doing in this are very, very much analogous to all of the other CAD packages. They all kind of share a lot of the same paradigms for how we view design and how we view mechanical things. So the fact that you're struggling with SOLIDWORKS doesn't mean that SOLIDWORKS is horrible. Sometimes, some parts of it are. It actually means that it has its own quirks, good and bad, and all of the other CAD packages have their similar but different quirks too. So if you've got a friend in another school or someone who says, oh, that SOLIDWORKS is terrible, you got to use NX or you got to use what, well, maybe. But for the most part, you are on a learning curve. If you can struggle through and successfully get this, and I know you can, then it's very quick to pick up any other CAD package as well. It's very similar in the paradigm, very similar in the workflow, and yeah, they all have their own difficulties. But if you've gotten this far, you're well on the way of becoming an expert. And more importantly, well on the way of being able to make functionally very accurate, very realistic, and very usable CAD models for a variety of things. So let's carry on with this birdhouse, bathouse thing and get back to making a real assembly. So here we are where I left off. I've been showing you this view, which is kind of a solid view. Just want to point out to you that if your computer is slow, if you look up in this, little view tab, and this is true in part as well as in assembly, you'll see that there's a display style button, and you can pick something that isn't shaded with edges. You can pick shaded, you can pick hidden lines removed. If you find your laptop is slow, then try using a different version for it. Now, unfortunately, one of the weird things it does is if the ugly birdhouse was set up to be transparent, it kind of makes a funny fuzzy thing in assembly, but it makes it easier to draw for your computer and it makes it behave a bit faster. You can also pick some other view settings like perspective. You can turn that off. You can turn on or off the real view graphics. That will really slow your computer down if you don't have the ability. There's also, I believe, a cartoon version, which is kind of quirky and funny looking. Regardless, I like to keep it in kind of being able to view solids a lot of the time. So I'm going back to this. Yeah, there's a cartoon when it's viewing that. That just kind of simplifies it. We'll leave it like that, and I'll keep the perspective on as well. So there's where we left off. Now, the thing that's missing is the roof. So let's do the roof. What's the best way to do this, I wonder? Well, how are we going to make the roof? I'm thinking that we've got 2mm thick cardboard like this. Why don't we make a 2mm thick cardboard roof as well? So let's get started trying to do that. It's a complicated geometry, isn't it? It's not quite obvious how we're going to do that. We certainly can do it within the context of this geometry of this part, of the assembly. That's probably true. But what's the best way? The nice thing is there's all kinds of ways to do it. We could look on this view and we could extrude through here along that that kind of peak. We could look at this view and we could make a flat plane like this. Both of those would work. the question is, which one's easier? And that's really what it comes down to with CAD, is that what's the easiest way to make the thing that you want and make it accurate and realistic? I think maybe we should create a new plane, and if we extrude something kind of that way, then we can probably do this quite easily, and then we can trim it off afterwards. So let's make a new part. Insert components, new part. And what plane are we going to be working on? I'm just going to pick, well, we'll start with that. There. There's our beginnings of our ugly birdhouse. There's our initial sketch, which we don't have anything on. So I'm just going to convert entities. I'm going to convert that and that. Bam. So that's all I want on that sketch at the moment. Because what I really want to do is I want to make a new plane in this part. You remember in one of the previous videos, we were using planes for helping define geometry. And so if I click to features here, I look over at reference planes. I'm going to pick a plane. I'm going to pick one reference will be that point. One reference will be that point. And I think I'd like it to be, no, that doesn't like it. No, I don't want it coincident with the second point. This is one of those things that's always kind of annoying. So that's not the plane that I want. No. No. Doesn't like my current constraints and whatnot. Try this again. Where was I saying? Oh yes, I want to make a plane. Yes, right, that was it. I think I'm going to start off making a plane by making an axis. One line, edge, axis. 2 points, vertices. That's what I want. I want that point and that point. There. Now we have an axis. So now if I select that axis, I'm going to make a plane that is perpendicular to that axis. That's what I want. And my second reference will be I want that point, and there we have a plane. So now we've got a plane that's oriented looking this way along the object. Beautiful. Now all I need to do is an extrusion. I'm sketching on that plane. I am going to convert entities, that and that. Oops. And let's see now there, it decided it would pick everything for me. I'm gonna, oops, pull that down. And now I'm going to offset entities. that. I'm going to offset it by 2 millimeters because that's what I think my thickness of my cardboard is. I'm going to offset up. And there we have that. Now the only thing left to do is I need to connect these. So I'm going to go back to Sketch. I'm going to draw a line. Sometimes when I draw lines, I know I want to connect it from there to there, control and merge those points. And I don't even worry about where I draw them at first. I'm going to merge those points. This makes sure that I'll have a closed curve. And I'm going to pick that, and I'm going to control pick that and merge. And I'm going to pick that and control that and then merge. And with that now, the only thing I'd like to do would be I'd like to control how big this is, but I'm not worried about it at the moment. So, oops, I should have gone and extruded that the right amount. I guess I want to extrude it a lot more than 12 millimeters. I could measure how far that goes, but you know, I'm not gonna. There. So that is just a folded roof on the top of the thing. Oh, don't really like that. Maybe I'll just fix that again a little bit more. I can extrude it in the other direction a little bit as well. There. Now I have this folded piece of paper, essentially, of cardboard on top of my thing. The only thing I want to do now is I want to cut this. And that's easy because if in this case, I'll just do an extruded cut. And I'm going to pick top plane to cut it. And I am just going to convert entities. And I'm going to convert entities from, hopefully I can select this. What I'd like to do is select that. Yeah. Perfect. Now I want to cut the other direction, and I want to cut through all. Cut a hole in my roof. That's not a very good roof. I think what I'll do is flip that. Flip side of the cut. There. And there's my roof. Now I can do the same thing with that roof as I did with the main body, and I can go into there, I can make it sheet metal, and I can fold it. Rebuild just now, and I'll save. Now one of the things you'll find when you go to save is it'll ask you to save internally or externally. And I find it's always more reliable to save externally, and then you can specify where it goes, but that way you'll find that the parts will be available. You can see them and edit them directly. So there we have it. You can carry on with this, and you can add the perch through here. You can add maybe some screw holes if you want to attach the bottom and be able to remove it. I would put some screw holes through the parts here. I would actually look at how you're going to attach this roof to here. I'm not going to show you, but I'm going to suggest to you that you're going to need to make some tabs or maybe even a 3D printed block to help you connect those things. The other thing you might want to do is, instead of what I did, which was I used the bottom profile to cut this, you might want to make a bit more overhang. This is kind of a Nordic noir looking birdhouse without any eaves. So we'll leave it there, and that's it for this tutorial. And thanks for watching. Look forward to the next one.